What is up, everybody? We're back here at the Mattville Motorsports YouTube channel. Today we're going to be working on the 2009 Yamaha Raptor 700R again. Still waiting on parts to come in for the water pump rebuild. We did the coolant flush, and once the water pump rebuild comes in, we'll rebuild it, put the new thermostat in, put the new coolant in, and then new radiator cap. So that one, the diaphragm's so swelled up on it, it's hard to go in there if y'all watched that other video. But anyway, so today we're gonna do an oil change. Now on the 09 Raptor, it does have the tank and the case that you have to drain, and then your oil filter. So the tank that's in front of the engine where you check your oil, that one, the bolt is a 12 millimeter on the drain bolt, and then the case drain has a 22 millimeter. So it's a pretty big difference, but anyway, so everything you need, you got your drain pan, your socket wrench with a 24 millimeter socket, and then your socket wrench with a 12 millimeter socket. We're going to go ahead and do the spark plug while we're at it. We've got the full synthetic 10W40 4-stroke maximal oil, and then we're going to do we're going to put a couple ounces of RevX in it. That stuff goes great. Anything power sports that has that you run high RPMs, that stuff's great. You can put it in vehicles, cars, trucks, diesels, power sports, water sports, it don't matter. But we got the oil filter, spark plug, the RevX, the Maxima Pro Plus 4-stroke oil, drain pan, wrenches, ready to go. So let's get to it. Like I said, everybody, here is the oil filter. We got the RevX, spark plug. Then we've got the socket wrenches, sockets. We got our drain pan. So this is your front reservoir right here. Drain plug's sort of near the front, right under that. Your big drain is under the casing here, and then your oil filter goes here with this bottom bolt. I'll show you here in a minute. Just like the water pump and stuff, when you pull the bottom bolt, it will help drain out any fluids that's left in there. So let's get to it. Make sure the drain pan's under there. Take my wrench off and try to get it out without making too much of a mess. Ooh, yeah. Oh, got one drip. Got the drain bolt out without making too much of a mess. Got a little bit on the socket. That ain't no big deal. I think all in all, the Raptor, this 09 Raptor, holds close to 2 quarts. I'll double check the exact measurements. I think it's about a 1.5 quarts in the front reservoir, and then about a 1/2 quart in the casing. 1 1/4 quarter, 3/4, but we'll look exactly here in just a sec. Right, we'll let that one drain. All right, guys, while that's draining, I'll be back here in a few. All right, everybody, I'm back. I had to do something real fast. But anyway, drain plug going back in, the crankcase. It's quit dripping now. Well, I just seen one. It's dripping every few minutes. So I'll take a rag and stick up in there and clean it out as much as possible. You always want to wipe around your drain port before you put your plug back in. Royston. Shh. Background music provided by Royston. Same thing on this, guys. Don't over torque it. Just snug it down. Snugging is plenty. All right, now we're ready to put the oil back in it. Said I'm gonna take the Rev X. I'm just gonna take this screwdriver and I'm gonna poke a small hole in two sides. That way it can breathe. Let me go get me a funnel.
Should I sell the wheels on my Jeep? You hear me?
What?
Should I sell the wheels on my Jeep? All my stocks.
Very few things going for it, and wheels is the tires is one.
I'm gonna buy some stocks and wraps for $900.
Put your funnel in the crankcase. This is a 4-ounce bottle. So if this was a big engine, some people put the whole bottle. I'm just gonna put half the bottle, 2 ounces. Boom. Half the bottle. And this is a 1 gallon jug. I'm just kind of eyeballing a half a quart, then I'll do a quart and a half in the jug and then check the dipstick. We'll let that sit and drain down for a minute. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. All right, buddy. Hold on. Daddy's working on a video. All right, guys, we're back. The front reservoir has stopped dripping. I've left it sitting there for about 20 or 30 minutes, so we can go ahead and put the drain plug back in. Royston, shh. I'm recording a video, son.
Where's Linda at?
She's inside.
Huh?
She's inside? Got both my boys out here working with me in the garage. The oldest one's over there working on the Warrior a little bit, and the youngest one's making a mess playing with his toys. All right, guys, and I just snug the drain bolts in. Don't over tighten them, but once they stop spinning, just give them a good snug, like most people know, but some people overdo it. So anyway, now we're gonna move on to the case and slide your drain pan back. Like I said, this is a 22 millimeter bolt. These skid plates on here, it's a little more difficult here to get to. Can't see. Got it broke loose. Pull a wrench off there. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I was right. They call for like 1.85. 1.85 total, but it's about 2 quarts. You put about 1.5 quarts in the front reservoir, and then you put 1/2 quart in the crankcase. So you'll have people that'll argue with you about it, but that's what the manual says. Some people say 1 quart in the crankcase, 1 quart in the reservoir, so as long as you've got 2 quarts of oil in it, that's all that matters. I read some stuff where on some forums that said, dudes said, or maybe the manual said, don't put any in the crankcase, and that's crazy because you never want to do a dry start with no oil in there. So I know the oil pump will pump it in there, but I'm putting at least 1/2 quart in the crankcase and then the 1.5 quarts in the reservoir. And tools required also, I forgot earlier, you do have to have a 10 millimeter Allen wrench, because right here is your case. I even seen where some guy said there was no way to put oil in the case. Yeah, there is. It's right here. Your oil filter housing's right here, right beside it. This big hex key bolt. That's it. That's your. That's where the oil goes. So let me wipe these sockets off. I got drop them down in the oil.
That's your picture.
What is it?
The picture.
Oh, okay.
That's your picture.
Okay, thank you.
Chef, I just got the camera and just take the picture for you. I just got a picture of the man cave.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So I just grabbed my camera.
You're a big help, buddy. See, there's your 10 millimeter hex drain plug. I'll be having a new one of these on the way anyway in red. I wish I could match everything up in this color red. Man, everything that you look at online, especially Amazon or eBay or anywhere, the red is anodized, and anodized red looks almost pink. So, not a big fan. I've got a couple pieces I'm gonna put on and see what it looks like, but I know I ain't gonna like it. But if everything was this color, it's like a candy brandy wine color, which is one of my favorite colors of all time. If I could match all that up, that would be awesome. So while that case drains, I've got I think a 16 quart pan. So I can pull the pan over here and go ahead and loosen the oil filter housing plug and have it draining while we're waiting. Where is my socket? Where is my bit? And you will need your 5mm to loosen this bolt. I always change oil filter. Anytime I change oil, I change oil filters. Seen a lot of people who just change oil, and that's not me. So I always do the filter too. So I always go a little bit overboard, especially if you're already there working on something. You've already got something apart and there's something else that you could go ahead and change. As long as it's not too expensive, and go ahead and change it. Not much oil, there it goes. I was gonna say not much oil is coming out, but there it's coming out. I just hate because most of these spots, just like the coolant, you know, when changing that up there, it gets all over the engine. So you have to clean it up or go ahead and put rags there. But because I know when we take this oil filter cover off, it'll definitely make a mess. So. Sit back, buddy.
Why is that all coming out?
Daddy's changing it.
Why are you changing it?
You gotta change the oil. Oil is the life of your engine. Any engine, any combustion engine has to have oil. And as you know, this is an 09, so it's definitely 15 years old. So a lot of the bolts I've pulled out have had some corrosion on them too. It is what it is. If you've seen the previous video with the coolant and everything, I explained to you that the guy I bought it from a few years ago, he said that it'd been sitting in a shed for a long time. So rats had gotten in and chewed up a little bit of the shock bump stop and a little bit of the airbox cover. But other than that, just a little bit of surface rust here and there on the frame. But you can't let stuff sit though. It's not good for it. You know, you gotta start stuff every now and again, get out rotted every now and again. Stuff's gonna dry rot. There ain't really a lot you can do. Even if it's kept inside. Out of the weather is definitely the best option. So, but anyway, just gagging along. Let's get this. You pop your oil filter cover off. There's the remainder of the oil. What'd you say?
Where's the rest of my Ziplocs?
Your Ziplocs? I have no idea.
The boxes are sitting there.
The box of Ziplocs is out there with the rest of that stuff. Why? The only Ziplocs that's in there is the one you've labeled in it. Anyway, guys, you always want to inspect your oil filter cover. It's got an O-ring right here. Just inspect it, make sure it looks good, which this one looks fine. The oil filter that I got, I know there's a couple different ones. It comes with a few O-rings. Of course, it comes with two that are actually mounted to the oil filter, but then it comes with a couple of extra ones. I'm not 100% where those go, because there's only one big one in the oil filter cover. Anyway, y'all just, if you can see that good there, just wiggle it a little bit. There's your oil filter. And you always put the little stop side, the side that has the nipple sticking out, that side goes in. So. That oil that was in it, surprisingly, was not that bad. I figured it would be way worse. I always take a clean rag. Voice it. Get out of the, I'm recording, dude. Knucklehead kids, sorry about that. But anyway, he's a shop foreman, by the way. You better put that back. Leave it alone. But I take a clean rag and carefully go in and wipe out the inside of the housing, the outside, anywhere you can see. Wipe it clean, make sure there's no debris. you always want to inspect anything you do, no matter what it is. Inspect everything carefully while you're working on it. All right, the crankcase is still dripping a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the oil, get the oil filter ready. No matter what oil filter it is, always take a little bit of oil on your finger, rub it around the seal, both sides on these. And this is a cartridge filter, as you can see.
Well, that ain't good.
So after I got the housing wiped out and the cover wiped out, we're gonna put it back on. Oil filter's in, ready to go. What are you talking about that ain't good?
Bolts out.
On what?
Back one.
Don't be taking stuff off that don't matter.
You just said it had to come off.
What?
That bar.
No, I did not.
Yes, you said this has to come off, see? And push on it.
No, I did not.
What'd you say had to come off?
What are you talking about? I never said that had to come off.
What were you pushing on back then that said it had to come off?
I'm recording a video. I'll deal with yours in a minute. Anyways, guys, just put your new oil filter in, nipple side in, lube up your O-rings, go ahead and put your cover back on after you get it cleaned out good, and then put it all back together. Crankcase still has a drip every now and again, but by the time I get done doing all this and put the plug back in, 99% of that oil is all out of there. I'll be right back, guys. All right, everybody. Crankcase has had time to drain down. I'm gonna grab the funnel, grab me a rag, come over here. And always, you pull your dipstick and then always take it. Make sure there's no dirt or debris around it. Stick my pinky in there, clean the threads, and then I'll clean the dipstick here in a second. But funnel right there. I'll clean the dipstick real good. You want to be careful, man, with these things. You don't want to, they're just plastic dipsticks, so be easy with them. Get the oil. Jaden, you come here and hold this camera real quick. Watch out, Rosa. No, Bubby's gonna hold it for me. Jaden, come here and hold this camera for me. Just hold it about right there. All right, guys. Again, I typically have my measuring cup, but I don't know where it's at. We've been doing a lot of cleaning and stuff around here, so I don't know where it's at. So I'll just eyeball it. 1.5 quarts in the reservoir, 1/2 quart in the crankcase, then check it. That's about 1/2 quart. That's about 1 quart. So I'm gonna let that drain down for just a minute. Go back, Orson. Real quick, I'm just gonna, still draining. You don't want to screw your dipstick all the way in, just stick it down until it's flush. Pull it out and check it. Yeah, we're nowhere near it, so. This funnel, even like completely full, holds about a half a quart. So I'm gonna fill it up and then let it drain. All right, we're gonna sit there and let it drain for a second. Ain't gonna bore you guys with that. So while it's draining down, as always, we'll be right back. All right, pull the funnel. Check the levels. Yeah, we're a little bit over, but we'll start it up and let it idle for a few and then recheck it, see where we're at. All right, so finally got that done. Topped off dipsticks in. Let's start it, let it run for a minute. Literally just want to let it run for a few. That was like 30 seconds. So we'll give it another couple minutes, let the oil settle. We'll check the dipstick and see where we're at. So much stuff to do to this Raptor. Exhaust, skid plates, head pop, more skid plates, handlebars, Nerf bars. There is the MSD blaster, the fuel injected tuner. We've got K&N filter. We've got chain sprocket, shock covers. Also got grips. There's the handlebar pad to go with the new handlebars. We've got the new LED lights for the headlights. Let's see, the sprocket, CNC sprocket nuts. Man, we've got a few more things. We got a lot, man. So new decals to put on it when we get it about done. So lots of content coming for y'all. Let's check this dipstick. We are right on the money. So all right, everybody. Well, that is the 09 Raptor oil change. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope y'all enjoyed the content. If you got any questions, comment on the post. We really appreciate all y'all tuning in and watching our videos. Madville Motorsports, over and out. We'll see you on the next one, man.